Hello students, welcome back to this lecture, and we were discussing about the nature of roots of quadratic equation in the last lecture, where we have seen all the conditions regarding the nature of the roots based upon the coefficients and the discriminant b square minus 4ac, and we have done some problem on that. Let's continue doing the problems on nature of roots, as we know that this is the most hot topic in IUQM and pre-RMO. So next question is, find number of values of PQ where P and Q belongs to 1, 2, 3, 4, and the equation Px square plus Qx plus 1 equal to 0 has real roots. So the equation is having real roots. So from the basic condition of nature of roots, we can say that D must be greater than or equal to 0. Now applying this condition, D greater than or equal to 0, we will get a result in P and Q, and satisfying this relation, we have to find the number of values of PQ for which the roots are real, means D is greater than or equal to 0. So discriminant is Q square minus 4P. This should be greater than or equal to 0. So Q square should be greater than or equal to 4P. Now let's fix one of the values of P and Q and get other values. Say if P is equal to 1, then Q square should be greater than equal to 4. The value Q can take is 1 and 2. Sorry, 2, 3 and 4. The number of ordered pairs PQ are 3 in this case. Now let's fix P as 2. Q square is greater than or equal to 8. The values Q can take is 3 and 4. So the values of ordered pair PQ is 2, 3 and 2, 4. Let's fix P as 3. Q square greater than equal to 12. Q can be 4. The ordered pair PQ is 3, 4. And last, fix P is equal to 4. Q square greater than equal to 16. Q can only take value 4. So the number of ordered pairs PQ is coming out to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So total 7 values of ordered pair P comma Q. We will get the equation of this, the roots of this equation as real. So this was quite simple problem. Let's move forward to another. We haven't done the questions on higher degree, the nature of roots of higher degree equations. So let's take one of the problem. If 1 plus I, where I square is equal to minus 1, is a root of x cube minus 3x square plus kx plus a is equal to 0, then find the value of k and a. See, in this problem we are given that k and a are real numbers, otherwise we won't be able to solve this problem. Now this is a cubic equation. It must be having 3 roots, either all 3 real or 2 non-real, 1 real, or 1 real, 2 non-real, or all 3 real. Nothing else is possible, as if the coefficients are real, we have discussed earlier that if the coefficients of a polynomial equation are real, then non-real root always occur in pair. Now, one non-real root 1 plus I is already given. So, we know that if 1 plus I is a root, if 1 plus I is a root of this equation, then other root will be 1 minus I. So, two roots are fixed, 1 plus I, 1 minus I. And now, the third root, we definitely know that the third root of this equation is a real number. Why? Because if it would have been a non-real number, then its pair must also exist, and we know that quadratic cubic cannot have more than 3 roots. So, the other root is alpha, which is a real number. Now, we can apply the relation between roots and coefficients. Sum of roots is equal to 2 plus alpha, which is equal to 3. 1 plus I plus 1 minus I plus alpha. So, alpha is 1, one of the root is 1. Substitute, put the value of the root as alpha is equal to 1 will satisfy this equation. K plus A is equal to 2. Now, we have to find the value of A and K. So, product of roots is minus A. So, this will be 1 minus I square. Alpha has been found as 1. I square is minus 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So, value of A is equal to minus 2, and substitute this value in equation 1, we will get the value of K as 4. Okay. So, this is a cubic equation. We can apply the concept of nature of roots of non-real roots, that non-real roots occur in pairs only. Let us take one more problem of cubic equation. If minus 2 plus IB, where again I square is equal to minus 1, beta not equal to 0. Beta is a real number which is non-zero, is a root of the equation x cube plus 63x plus lambda equal to 0, where lambda is also given a real number. Then find lambda and roots of this equation. Okay, so this is a similar problem. If, see here, given that beta is a real number, obviously p plus, if p plus iq is a root, then p minus iq is another root, where p and q are real numbers, and it is also given that beta is a non-zero real number. Why non-zero real number? If it beta is a 0, beta is 0, then minus 2 plus I is 0, that will be minus 2, and minus 2 is a root of this equation. So, minus 2 here we are to follow that minus 2 plus IB is a root, then minus 2 minus IB will be another root. If beta is 0, then we cannot say that if minus 2 plus I0 is a root, then minus 2 minus I0 will be also a root. Okay. So, minus 2 plus IB minus 2 minus I, and another root, let's consider it as alpha, where alpha is a real number. Okay. Now again, using the concept of relation between roots and coefficients, sum of roots is zero, the coefficient of x square here is 0, so alpha will be equal to 4. So the real root of this equation has come out as 4. Substitute alpha is equal to 4, the value of lambda is equal to minus 3160. So lambda is equal to minus 316. One of the answer of the given problem, find lambda and roots. We also need to find the roots of this equation. One of the roots had been found out as 4. Now we have to find the value of beta. So other two roots will also be found. Now product of roots. Product of roots of this equation, minus 2 plus ib minus 2 minus ib, and alpha is 4, is equal to minus d by a, that will be equal to minus lambda. 4 plus beta square 316, beta square plus 4 79, so beta square is equal to 75. Beta square is 75. The value of beta is plus minus 5 root 3. So we had to find the roots of the equation. If we take plus 5 root 3, then also the three roots will be minus 2 plus 5 root 3 I, minus 2 minus 5 root 3 I and 4. If we take minus 5 root 3, then also the same roots will come out. So the roots of the equation are minus 2 plus 5 root 3 I, minus 2 minus 5 root 3 I and 4. These are the roots and this is the value of lambda. Okay. So we simply use the concept that if the coefficients of a cubic equation or any n degree equations are real, then if p plus iq is a root, then p minus iq is also a root of that equation, where p and q are real numbers and all the coefficients are real. Okay, let's move forward to another problem. Let the polynomial px is given as x power 64 minus x power 45 plus x power 36 minus x power 21. Then now 4 options are given. Number of negative roots of px equal to 0 are 0. Number of imaginary roots या non-real roots of px equal to 0 are 64. Number of real roots of last option is number of non-real roots of px plus p minus x equal to 0 are 64. Okay, so one or more options may be correct. See, real root, non-real root, negative root. First we can check A option, number of negative roots. So we need to find that if this equation is satisfied by any negative value or not. This equation, is this equation satisfied by a negative value of x or not? So see, if we put any negative number x, then this expression is positive, this will also become positive as odd power, negative odd power will be negative and minus minus will be plus. So using this concept, all the expression are positive, all the numbers are positive plus 1. So this cannot be equal to 0, LHS cannot be equal to 0 for x less than 0. So we can say that option A is correct. Number of negative roots of Px equal to 0 are 0. No negative value of x satisfy this equation. Next, non-real roots of Px equal to 0 are 64. Real roots of B and C options are quite same. If Px equal to 0 has 64 non-real roots, then it will have 0 real roots as the degree of the equation is 64. So the equation will have exactly 64 roots. And D, number of non-real roots of Px plus P minus x. Let's check the D option. P of minus x will be equal to all the terms with positive coefficients. If we add both of them, we will get twice of x to the power 64 plus x to the power 36 plus x to the power 20 plus 1. And we need to find the roots of Px plus Px minus 1 equal to 0. So this equation, roots of this equation, any negative value will not satisfy this equation, any positive value will not satisfy this equation. As x is greater than 0, all these terms are positive, non-negative, plus 1 will be a number greater than or equal to 1. Same for any negative value. If we put any negative value, for x greater than 0, LHS is greater than or equal to 1. LHS greater than 1, and for x less than 0, LHS is greater than 1. For x equal to 0, LHS is equal to 1. So number of real roots is equal to 0. So number of non-real roots are 64. D is also a correct option. Now let's check for option B and C. If B is correct, then C will also be correct. So for this equation, Px equal to 0, (36, 21, 20, 70). We are checking that any value of x is satisfying this equation or not. So we have already proved that for x less than 0, no solution. This is done in option A. Let's take the value between 0 and 1. If x is between 0 and 1, then we write this equation like this. As we know that x is from 0 to 1, so x power 36 will be greater than x power 45. As the magnitude is less than 1, higher the power, lower the value. So this will be greater than 0, this will be greater than 0, this will be greater than 0, and this is greater than 0 as x is greater than 0. So all the numbers are positive. So this cannot be equal to 0. No solution. If x is greater than 1, also we will check the value at x equal to 1. At x equal to 1, this is becoming 1 is equal to 0. So x equal to 1 is not a root. For x greater than 1, as x is greater than or equal to 1, for x equal to 1, the equation is not having any solution. And for x greater than 1, now magnitude of the number is greater than 1. So higher the power, higher the value. This is positive, this is positive, this is positive, plus 1, this can also be not be equal to 0. So this equation has no real value of x. Yeah, we can say that no real root. So all the 64 roots will be non-real. So in this question, all of the options are correct. I hope this is clear to you. So this was another a higher degree problem, higher degree equation problem. Now let's do some questions which were either asked in PYQs, either in pre-RMO or in IOQM or in uh, other Olympiads. If x comma y satisfies x square minus xy plus y square is equal to, then find the value of given x and y are real numbers. Okay. So the expression is a quadratic in either x or in y. We can make it as a quadratic. We can consider it as a quadratic equation either in x or in y. So I am making it a quadratic in x. So x square minus xy plus 4 plus y square minus 4y plus 16 is equal to 0. Okay. This is a quadratic equation in x and we are given that x and y are real number. If x is a real number, it means that the root of this equation is a real number. If the root of this equation is a real number, then discriminant of this quadratic should be greater than or equal to 0. Now discriminant is b square minus 4ac. So this expression becomes minus 3y square plus 24y minus 48 minus 3y square minus 8y plus 16. So this is y minus 4 whole square is less than or equal to 0, as we know that y is also a real number. So this expression is possible. This expression is possible only when y minus 4 is equal to 0. So the value of y is equal to 4. Now find the value of x at y is equal to 4. This expression d is equal to 0, d is equal to 0. So the quadratic will, this quadratic will also have two equal roots. So x square minus 8x plus 16, x is equal to 4, x by y plus y by x will be equal to 2. So the question was not looking as it is a question of nature of roots, but given x and y are real, so the roots of this equation will be real, and we have applied the condition of real roots d greater than or equal to 0. Let's take a similar type of problem, and it was asked in one of the PYQs in one of the previous year papers. Suppose a and b are integers and a plus b is a root of x square plus ax plus b equal to 0. What is the maximum possible value of b square? Maximum possible value of b square we have to calculate, and a and b are integers, z is the set of integer we are considering. If a plus b is a root of this equation, then a plus b must satisfy this equation. A square plus b square plus 2ab plus a square plus ab plus b. So this is a quadratic. We can make it a quadratic in a as well as a quadratic in b. So a square plus ab, this is 3ab, 2a square plus 3ab plus b square plus b, 2a square plus 3ab plus b square plus b. Now a will be equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. See, we could also do that roots a is an integer, and we have seen the condition of integral roots, but in that the coefficient of a square is 1. We could divide this equation by 2 and make d as perfect square, or we will check after we make this as a perfect square. See, a is equal to minus 3b plus minus, this is b square minus 4ac, 9b square minus 8b square, b square and minus 8b. If a and b are integers, then this expression is also an integer. B square minus 8b should also be an integer. So b square minus 8b should be, root of b square minus 8b is an integer, so b square minus 8b should be a perfect square of integer, should be a perfect square of an integer. Let's say b square minus 8b is equal to n square. Okay, we are considering this perfect square as n square. Now we need to solve this equation and find the value of n and then b and then a. We have to find the maximum value of b square. Can I make a perfect square? This will be b minus 4 whole square is equal to n square plus 16. See, the difference of two perfect squares of integers is 16. As I move forward, the difference of square of two consecutive integers, what can be the minimum value? See, the perfect square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, difference is 5. Now difference between 3 and 4, square of 3 and 4 is 16 minus 9, 7, can be 16. As we move forward, as we move higher up in the natural numbers, this difference will be getting higher and higher. See, if I take 6 and 7, so the difference between the square will be 49 minus 36, 13. Now for 7 and 8, square of 7 is 49 and square of 8 is 64, the difference between them is 13. 15, and square of 9 and square of 8, this is 70. Now if I can take any two values, any two integers, consecutive integers, then square difference between the square will be greater than 16. So I can say that n can be at max 7. The maximum value of n can be 7. So we need to check only for between 0 to 1. 0 to 7. We only need to check for these values that b minus 4 is perfect square or not. Let's say if for n is equal to 0, b minus 4 is equal to 16, b minus 4 is plus minus 4, b is either 8 or 0. B is either 8 or 0. And the value of a, if b is equal to 8, the value of a is an integer, no problem with that. We have to find the maximum value of b square, so we are not checking for b is equal to 0. For n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, difference is not a perfect square, n is equal to 2, difference is not a perfect square, 16 plus 4, 20. For n is equal to 3, 16 plus 9, this is coming out to be 25. So b minus 4 is plus minus 5, b is equal to 9 and b is equal to minus 1. See, now 9 is greater than 8. So for b is equal to 9, whether a is integer or not, so a is equal to minus 3 into 9 plus minus 81 minus 72, 9, 3 upon 4. This should be an integer. This should be an integer. So this is minus 27 plus minus 3 upon 4. If we take minus sign, this is not an integer. If we take plus sign, then it is minus 6. So b can be equal to 9. Now the maximum value of b is 9. We had to find the maximum possible value of b square. Now the maximum possible value of b square can be maximum possible value of b square can be, wait, the maximum possible value of b square can be now 81. Let's check more of the values. For n is equal to 4, not possible, 5, not possible, 6, not possible, 7, not possible. So for only n is equal to 0 and 3, this b minus 4 whole square will be a perfect square, b minus 4 square will be a value of square of an integer, and from that we have seen that maximum value of b is 9. So maximum possible value of b square, the answer will be 81. So this was asked in either pre-RMO or IUQM. I think it is a problem of pre-RMO, PRMO. It is a very good question. Let us quickly do another problem based on nature of roots. If the roots of Lx square plus 2mx plus n equal to 0 are real and distinct, then show that the roots of this equation L plus n are non-real. Okay, this is also a very good question. First we are given that roots of this equation are real and distinct. So from the condition, the discriminant should be greater than 0. B square minus 4ac is greater than 0. So m square minus ln is greater than 0. We have been given a relation between L, M and N and an inequality between L, M and N, that m square is greater than ln. Okay. Nothing can be said. So let's find the discriminant of this quadratic equation. First we can write this quadratic as L square plus ln minus 2 ln plus 2m square x square plus 2l plus n into m, the coefficient of x, and the constant is ln plus n square minus 2 ln plus 2m square. Okay. So the quadratic becomes 2m square plus l square minus ln plus 2ml plus nx plus 2m square plus n square minus ln is equal to 0. We need to find the nature of, we need to show that the roots of this equation are non-real. So we need to prove that the discriminant of this quadratic is less than 0 using this condition that m square minus ln is positive. So let's calculate the discriminant of this equation. B square minus 4ac now if we are to solve this, I think we will go nowhere. From here the coefficient of m square will be 4, the l square n square l square n square. We can use this concept here that m square minus ln is positive first let's take 4 common, and I am writing this expression as m square minus ln plus m square plus l square into m square minus ln plus m square plus n square. Now from the given condition, we know that m square minus ln is positive. This expression is positive. This expression is positive. And it is getting subtracted in this discriminant. So if I remove this expression from d dash, I can say that d dash is, if I write this expression as 4 times m square l plus n square minus m square plus l square into m square plus n square. So this will be less than d dash. A positive number has been removed which was in minus with a minus sign. So this expression is less than negative number minus m square minus ln m square minus ln. So this will be less than or greater than d dash. Greater than d dash. So let's solve this. M square L square plus M square N square plus 2 ln M square minus M power 4 minus M square N square minus L square M square minus L square N square. I am solving this expression and I have removed M square minus ln from the original discriminant. So M square N square will be cancelled out. L square M square will be cancelled out. This will become minus, if we take minus common, M power 4 plus L square N square minus 2 ln M square, which is nothing but M square minus ln whole square. So this is greater than less than 0. M square minus ln whole square with the minus sign. This is less than 0. So d dash was less than d double dash and d double dash is less than 0. So the discriminant is less than 0 of the second equation, this equation. So we can say that the roots of this equation are non-real. So this was also a very good problem. From the discriminant we have omitted this term, and we are omitting this term, then this complete expression will be less than this expression, and this expression is less than 0. So the discriminant will be less than 0 and the roots will be non-real. Okay. Let's take one more problem. If the equation has positive integral roots, alpha beta, then the value of alpha power 2025 minus beta power 2025 is where p is given as a real number. The roots are integers. From this question, from the quadratic equation, we can say that if alpha and beta are the roots, sum of roots is equal to p, product of roots is also equal to p. So we can say that alpha plus beta equal to alpha beta. We have discovered a relation between alpha and beta, and from this equation and the knowledge of this, that alpha and beta are positive integers, we can simply solve this equation. We can write this equation as this. Now minus 1 plus 1, we will factorize this. Alpha 1 minus beta plus beta minus 1 is equal to minus 1. 1 minus beta, alpha minus 1 is equal to minus 1. 1 minus alpha, 1 minus beta is equal to 1. Now both are positive integers, so this equation is possible when either this is equal to 1, both are 1, or both are minus 1. From here alpha and beta are 0 0, which is not possible as roots are given as positive integers. From this alpha is equal to 2, beta is equal to 2. Both are equal. So 2 power 2025 minus 2 power 2020 will be equal to 0. Quickly take one more problem. If P, Q, R, S are real numbers, then equation must has the option are 6 real roots, at least 2 real roots, 2 real and 4 imaginary roots, 4 real and 2 imaginary roots. Yeah, you can say non-real roots. So we need to find the nature of roots, either real or non-real. There are 3 quadratic equations, so total there will be 6 roots. Discriminant of first is p square minus 12q. Discriminant of second is r square plus 4q. Discriminant of third is s square minus 8q. Now we can say clearly that we do not know anything about PQRS except the condition that they are real numbers. So we cannot specifically say that D1 will be positive, D2 will be negative, D3 will be positive, and vice versa, and anything, because we are not given any relation, anything about PQRNS except that these are real numbers. So we know that P square, R square, S square, they all are positive. P square is positive, R square is positive, S square is positive. Now if Q is positive, then D2 will be positive. If Q is positive, then D2 will be positive. So in this case, I do not know whether D1 will be positive or negative, D3 will be positive or negative, but I surely know that for Q is greater than 0, D2 is greater than 0, so this equation will have 2 real roots. I do not know about first and third equation. and if q is negative, then these two expressions will be positive, d1 and d3 will be positive, and I do not know anything about d2. So in this situation we can say that first and third equation will have two real roots, then and the equation will have four real roots. So from both these conditions I can only say that the equation has at least two real roots, but I cannot say anything other than this. Okay. If q is positive, then d2 is surely positive, two real roots. We do not know anything about first and third equation. Similarly, if q is less than 0, there are four real roots, and we do not know about the second equation. So if we do not know, then we will go for the safer option. The equation will have at least two real roots. Okay. So we have done some previous year problems also and some very good questions on. So today we are going to learn about condition on common roots. Okay. Condition for common roots. Suppose we are given two quadratic equations and both of the equations have common roots. Either it can have one root common, exactly one root common, or it can have both roots common. Let's say the given quadratic equations are a1x square plus b1x plus c1 equal to 0 and a2x square plus b2x plus c2 equal to 0. Okay, so first I will write down the conditions. What are the conditions for these equations to have a common root or both common roots? Then we will prove them. First, if a1 b2 minus b1 a2, b1 c2 minus b2 c1 is equal to c1 a2 minus a1 c2 whole square, then the given equations have a common root. If the coefficients a1 b1 c1 a2 b2 c2 satisfy this condition, then we will say that these two equations have a common root. Meaning of have a common root is at least one root common. Have at least one common root. So this condition includes both the conditions, whether the equations have exactly one root common or both root common. We will prove that in a while. First, we will write the second condition on coefficients. If a1 upon a2 equal to b1 upon b2 equal to c1 upon c2, then the given equations have both roots common. Okay. First, we can easily see second condition. If both roots are common, if the equations have both roots common, this equation have root alpha beta, this equation will also have root alpha beta. So I can say that both these equations are same. Both these equations are same because if equation having root alpha beta, how can we write a equation having root alpha beta x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta? So the quadratic equation having two roots alpha and beta is unique. So I can say that these two equations are exactly the same. If the two equations are same, then coefficients of ratio of these two equation is same. So a1 upon a2 will be equal to b1 upon b2 will be equal to c1 upon c2. Now for the first condition, if the equations have at least one common root, either one root is common or two roots are common, So I am writing down the equations again. A1 x square equal to 0. If the two equations have a common root, then I can say that there exists a value of x which satisfy both these equations. Now I can solve both these simultaneous equations using cross multiplication method. X square by x divided by and 1 upon so from these two the value of x is, and from these two equations value of x is, if I equate both the values of x, so this is the condition we get from the cross multiplication method of solving two simultaneous equations. So this condition includes whether two values of x are satisfying both these equations or one value of x satisfying both these equations. A trick to remember this condition is you can write down the coefficient of x square and coefficient of x square in the second equation. Now an easier way to remember this condition is a1 into b2 minus a2 into b1, a1 into b2 minus a2 into b1, b1 into c2 minus b2 into c1, and c1 into a2 minus c2 into a1 whole square. a1 b2 minus a2 b1 into b1 c2 minus b2 c1 is equal to c1 a2 minus a1 c2 whole square. So this is a easier way to memorize the condition, to write down the condition of having common roots. Let's do some problems on the condition on common roots. If x square plus ax plus 1 equal to 0 and x square plus x plus a equal to 0 have a common root, then find the value of a. So either we can use the condition or we can use the method of from the proof from which we have derived the condition. We can use this also. What we have done, we have simultaneously solved these two equations. This is one of the methods to solve two simultaneous equations. Another way, there are another ways of solving two simultaneous equations. One is elimination, one is substitution. So I can always use the substitution method. I could multiply 1 by a2 and 2 by a1, and by subtracting I could get the value of x, and if I put that value of x in any one of the equation, I will get this condition. Okay. So there is no need to use the condition directly. We can always use solve both the simultaneous equation, because we are given that these two equations have a common root. We don't know whether both roots are common or only one root is common. We can solve these two equations either by cross multiplication or by substitution or by elimination. This is these two equations are very simple. I am using the elimination method. Subtract 1 and 2, we get ax minus x plus 1 minus a equal to 0. From this, the value of a is either a is equal to 1 or x is equal to 1. The value of x is equal to 1 signifies that the common root is x equal to 1. By solving these two equations, I am getting a linear equation and the root of this equation is 1. So I can say that x equal to 1 is the root of this equation, also x equal to 1 is the root of this equation, and x equal to 1 is the root of this equation. So x equal to 1 is a common root. Now the second condition is a equal to 1. What happens if a is equal to 1? If a is equal to 1, both the equations are same and both roots are common. So a equal to 1 is an answer. Have a common root. We are asked the value of a if the equations have a common root. If the equation says these two equations, if the question says these two equations have exactly one common root, then a is equal to 1 will not be the answer. But here we are given that the equations have a common root, then it can have either one root common or both roots common. So a equal to 1. Now from the value of x equal to 1, I can put x equal to 1 in any of the equation. A is equal to minus 2. So the value of a is 1 and minus 2. For a equal to 1, both roots are common, and for a equal to minus 2, one root is common. So we have simultaneously solved these two equations and find the values of a. Another way of doing, use the conditions directly. X square plus ax plus 1 and x square plus x plus a. Let us check. Yes. Now I am writing the condition 1 into 1 minus a into 1, condition for common root. A into a minus 1, a square minus 1 is equal to 1 minus a whole square. Okay. Now this is also minus 1 minus a whole square. From here we get the two values of x, a equal to 1 and a equal to minus 2. We can further check that for a equal to 1, the equations, both equations have both roots common, and for a equal to minus 2, the equations have exactly one root common, which is equal to x equal to 1. Okay. Let's write one more important point in condition of roots. If alpha is a root of fx equal to 0 and gx equal to 0, then alpha is also a root of lambda fx plus mu gx equal to 0. See, if alpha satisfies these two equations, f of alpha equal to 0 and g of alpha equal to 0, if we put alpha in this equation, lambda into 0 plus mu into 0 equal to 0. So we have used this condition basically. We multiplied this equation by 1 and this equation by minus 1. So this is fx, this is gx. We used fx minus gx. So if these two equations have a common root, then fx minus gx will also have a common root, which is equal to 1. Okay. Next question, if the equations x square plus 2bx plus 3c equal to 0 and 2x square plus 4x plus 3 equal to 0 have a common root, then find the value of b and c. So we are given two equations. Now there are two parameters a, b and c which needs to be found. So again in this question there is no specification whether one root is common or both roots are common. So either we can apply this condition directly. Okay, in this question another information is given that b and c are real numbers. So whether I can use the condition of common roots and find a relation between b and c, or I can solve these two equations and find the common root, or if we closely see the question we can see that in this equation there are b and c, but in this equation there is nothing but x, only variable x is there. So I can find the roots of this equation, and if this equation have say a root alpha which will clearly be found out, and I will put the value of alpha in this equation, find the relation between b and c. Okay, so if I find the root of this equation, the discriminant of this equation is less than 0. So I can say that this equation will have non-real roots. Let's say one of the root is p plus iq and other root is p minus iq. Then the condition of exactly one root common is vanished. These two equations cannot have exactly one root common because b and c are given as real numbers. If the coefficient of a polynomial equations are real, then non-real root always occur in pair. So if these two equations have let's say only p plus iq root common, but p plus iq root cannot exist separately, it always occur in a pair. So we have come out to the conclusion that these two equations, ax square plus 2bx plus 3c and 2x square plus 4x plus 3 have both root common. So applying the condition of both roots common, a1 upon a2 equal to b1 upon b2 equal to c1 upon c2. So value of c is equal to half and value of b is equal to 1. b is 1, c is 1 by 2. If 2x square minus x minus 1 and have a common root, find k. So again we are not given whether exactly one root common or both root common, but similarly from the previous question we are given an equation whose roots can be found. X equal to 1 and x equal to minus 1 by 2. So if x equal to 1 is a common root, if x equal to 1 is a common root, then it must satisfy the second equation. The value of k is 0 or minus 2. If x equal to minus 1 by 2 is a common root, then it must satisfy the second equation. 4k square minus 4k minus 3, 2k minus 3, 2k plus 1. So k is equal to 3 by 2 or minus 1 by 2. There are 4 values of k. So suppose we would have apply the condition on common roots a1 b2 minus b1 a2, the condition, then the equation will become a biquadratic in k, would have become a biquadratic in k. Okay, so we have applied the condition that x equal to 1, one root is common, or minus 1 by 2, one root is common. If both roots are common, if both roots are common, then the condition will be, let's say ki the value of k is coming or not. From first two equations, k is equal to minus 1 by 4. From last two, k equal to minus, is k, if k equal to minus 1 by 4 satisfy this condition, then both roots will be common. No, both the conditions are not satisfying simultaneously. So the equation cannot have both roots common, only one root will be common. If one is common root, then there are two values of k. If 1 minus 1 by 2 is a common root, then there also are two common values of k. So there are 4 values for which these two equations can have a common root, and all the 4 values exactly one root will be common. So this is our answer. Next question. If the equations where ABC are real number have exactly two common roots, then find the value of, then show that A equal to B equal to C. So again, one of the now the given two equations, one is cubic equation, other is quadratic equation, and the cubic equation can be solved directly. X cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 2. We can write x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 plus 1. This is x plus 1 whole cube. Now a cube plus b cube, a plus b, a square plus b square minus ab. Now all the roots of the cubics have been found. X square plus x plus 1 discriminant is less than 0, so this equation will have non-real roots. So the cubic equation is having 3 roots, one is real, -2 and 2 are non-real, which will occur in the pair p plus iq, p minus iq. Now we are given that two equations, two roots are common, exactly two roots are common, so one of them cannot be -2. So let's see, if -2 and p plus iq is common, then -2 and p plus iq cannot be the root of ax square plus bx plus c, as the coefficient abc are real and non-real root cannot can occur only in pairs. So clearly we can say that p plus iq and p minus iq will be the common roots. So x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0 and ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. These two quadratic equation have both roots common. So 1 upon a equal to 1 upon b equal to 1 upon c, which implies a is equal to b is equal to c. Let's do another type of problem. If the equations x square plus bx plus ac, x square plus cx plus ab have exactly one common root, a is not equal to 0, a, b, c are real numbers, okay, then show that the equation having the uncommon roots is x square plus ax plus bc equal to 0. So two equations have exactly one root common, and we need to prove that the equation having their uncommon root, let's say this equation have roots alpha and beta, and this equation have root alpha and gamma, where beta is not equal to gamma. So we need to prove that the equation having roots beta and gamma is x square plus ax plus bc. So we can simultaneously solve these two equations for common root. Subtract these two equations. B minus c into x minus a equal to 0. So either b is equal to c or x is equal to a. We can check what will happen if b is equal to c. If b is equal to c, then the equation become x square plus cx plus ab, x square plus cx plus ab. B is equal to c, c is equal to b. So both the equations are same. So in this condition, for b equal to c, both roots are common, which we cannot take, as the equation says, as the question says, these two equations have exactly one root common. So b cannot be equal to c. Now the common root is x is equal to a. A is one of the root. A is one of the root. From product of roots, we can say that another root is c, another root is b. A is the common root. One of the root is a. So product of root is ac, other root will be c. in the second equation other root will be b. So uncommon roots are C and b. The equation having root C and b is x square minus sum of the roots into x plus product of roots equal to 0. This is the equation having the roots, uncommon roots b and c. But we had to prove the equation is x square plus ax plus b, and we have found that the equation is x square minus b plus cx plus bc. So what we can do, we could use this condition that if x is equal to a is common root, then it will satisfy both the equations. Put x equal to a in one of the equation, x square plus ab plus ac equal to 0, take a common, the equation becomes a into a plus b plus c equal to 0. We are given a is not equal to 0. So if a is not equal to 0, a plus b plus c equal to 0. This condition we could found using by applying direct condition on common roots, c minus b into ab square minus ac square equal to ac minus ab whole square. From there we would have found the condition b equal to c also and a plus b plus c equal to 0 also. Okay, so use this a plus b plus c 0, b plus c equal to minus a, put it in the equation, and the equation becomes x square plus ax plus bc equal to 0, hence prove. Okay, is it clear? Next question is, if x square plus ax plus 12 equal to 0, x square plus bx plus 15 equal to 0, three equations are given and we have been given that these two equations have a common positive root. Then find the value of a and b. Now three equations have a common positive root. So what we can do, we can use the result that if alpha is a root of this equation, alpha is a root of this equation, alpha is a root of this equation, fx equal to 0, gx equal to 0, hx equal to 0, then alpha is also root of fx, lambda fx plus mu gx plus nu hx. You can use these three equations as all the equations are having a common root. Then we can use all these equations to find the common root. So what we will do, we will use the linear combination of these three equations to find the value of x, okay, the common root. So what we can do, we can add 1 and 2 and then subtract this expression in 3 by 3. So equation 1 plus 2 minus 3 will give x square minus 9 is equal to 0. A and b will be cancelled out and x square minus 9, x equal to plus minus 3. The common root is positive. So common root is x is equal to 3. Now one of the root is 3, one of the root is 3. And one of the root is 3. Product of root is 12. So the other root will be 4. Product of root is 15. Other root will be 5. And other root will be 12. So if we would have been asked to find the uncommon roots, The uncommon roots are 4, 5 and 12. We have to find the value of a and b. Sum of roots of this equation is minus a, which is 7, so a is equal to minus 7. Sum of roots minus b, which is 8, so b is equal to minus 8. A equal to minus 7, b equal to minus 8. We have found the values of a and b. Next question. If the equations x square minus ax plus 6, bx and cx, we are given that the first equation has roots alpha beta, second equation has roots beta gamma, third equation has roots alpha gamma. Then find the value of ABC. We need to find the value of A, B and C if these three equations, two pairs have one common root. First two equations have common root beta, second and third have common root gamma, and first and third have common root alpha. So they have pairwise common roots. So we cannot simultaneously solve all the equation, as there is not a value of x which satisfying all the three equations. So we cannot simultaneously solve these three equations. We can simultaneously solve first two, second two and first and third, but we cannot simultaneously solve all the three equations, as there is not a single value of x which satisfying all the three equations. Rather, in the previous problem there was a common positive root, so we had solve these three equations simultaneously. So what we can do here, we are given the constant term in each of the equation. So product of root is given. Product of root of first equation is 6. Product of root of second equation is 12. Product of root of third equation is 8. If we find alpha, beta and gamma, then we will be able to find the value of A, B and C. So multiply these three equations. Alpha, beta, gamma square will be 6 into 12 into 8, which is 2 power 3, 2 power 2, 2, 3 to 5 and 6, 2 power 6 into 3 power 2. Okay. So alpha, beta, gamma is equal to plus minus 2 power 3, 3, which is 24. So alpha, beta, gamma is either 24 or minus 24. Now alpha, beta is 6, alpha, beta is 6, so gamma is 4, beta, gamma 12, so alpha is 2, alpha, gamma is 8, so beta is 3, or for minus 24 gamma will be minus 4, alpha will be minus 2 and beta will be minus 2. So we will be having two values of ABC. For 2, 3 and 4, alpha 2, beta 3, gamma 4, the value of A is 5, 7, B is 7, C is 6. So the ordered triplet ABC is 5, 7, 6. And for the negative values, ABC will be -5, -7, -6 similarly. So there are two values of the ordered triplet ABC, 5, 7, 6 and 5 or 5, 7, -5, -7, -6. Okay. Let's have one more problem. If the equations have exactly two common roots, then find their uncommon root. Now two cubic equations are given and both these equations have exactly two common roots and we have to find the uncommon root. Say the equation have roots alpha, beta, gamma and alpha, beta, delta. Alpha, beta are common roots and the uncommon roots are gamma and delta. We need to find the value of gamma and delta. So how we can proceed? These two equations have two common roots, exactly two common roots. So we can simultaneously solve these two equations. If we solve these two equations, subtract, so we get 2x square plus q minus r equal to 0. Now this has become a quadratic. So from the concept that if alpha is a root of fx and gx, then alpha is also a root of lambda fx plus mu gx. Here alpha and beta are the roots of these two equations. So I have subtracted these two equations fx minus gx. So this equation will also have root alpha and beta. The roots of this equation will be alpha and beta definitely. We are not to find the value of alpha and beta. See, we have to find the uncommon roots. So sum of roots alpha plus beta will be 0. The coefficient of x in this equation is 0. Sum of the roots alpha plus beta is 0. Now using the relation between coefficients and roots, the sum of roots of first equation alpha plus beta plus gamma is 5 and the sum of roots of second equation alpha plus beta plus delta is 7. Now alpha plus beta is 0. So the uncommon roots gamma and delta are 5 and 7. Okay. So in today's lecture we concluded the concepts on common roots and have done multiple type of problems on common roots. So let's conclude this lecture today. In next lecture we will learn about graph of quadratics and range of quadratic expressions.